I want to give you a look at exactly what is included with the 6th grade math Squared Away membership. 7th, 8th, and 5th grade are going to be very similar in terms of the types of resources that are included and the amount of resources that are included. 5th grade has a little bit less at this point, which is why it's priced cheaper, but the resource library will be growing. So this is everything printed out for the 6th grade membership, except it does not include answer keys. The membership does, but I did not print them, or any of the digital stuff has not been printed. Nothing editable has been printed. And everything here is printed front to back. So the amount of paper here, the amount of resources, if you can more than double this, this will let you know exactly what's included. You can see there is a ton of material. These two up front are bound because I had printed them for a conference at one point, so I didn't go ahead and print them again, but you can still see. So with the membership, you do get the math homework notebook. This comes in an editable format and a PDF format, and it is a full year of homework that you can just print and go, or you can tweak for your students depending on their needs. So this is included. Also included are the middle school math fold and flip notes. This resource is included with the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade membership because it does cover skills that go across those 3 grade levels. So there are a ton of fold and flips in here. There's 250 pages of resources, and each fold and flip comes with an instructional page that tells you which pages to print depending on what you want, and also shows you completed examples. So this is a super valuable resource. It's been out for a very long time that teachers really seem to enjoy. There's a lot here. All right, so now let's dig into what else is included. I'm going to save the curriculum and the activities for last because that's the biggest piece, and we'll start over here. So you will have access to assessments, escapes, and some uncategorized resources. So you will have all of the 6th grade specific and non-grade specific escapes. And any future escapes that I make, you will have as well. So these escapes are super fun. They're really challenging, they're really engaging. Students really enjoy them. With the escapes, you have all of the challenges, you have the hint cards, you have your end of escape signs if you choose to use them. So right now the 6th grade has a back to school one, an end of the year escape, which has a lot of color to it if you can color or print in color. And then there you go. There's also solving equations escape. This is the basic equations that 6th graders could handle. So you get those escapes, and again, any future ones. And next are assessments. They're not just assessments, it's test prep. Now this does take Common Core, but it does not only go with Common Core. There are no standards written on the practice pages, so you can use it with any grade level. So the test prep is included, has a space for doodling. There's an open-ended version, and there is a version that has multiple choice depending on what you want your students to practice. You also have access to benchmark exam. Again, this is Common Core. It has a sheet where you can record their scores, and then it also gives you alignment to Common Core. But again, if you're not Common Core, it's fine. You can still use this. So there's 2 versions of the benchmark plus student pages. And there also are mini assessments. There are mini assessments for every single Common Core standard. If you don't teach Common Core, there's a version available that does not have the standard on it. So you can still totally use these. You just don't need to use a standard version. So those are the current assessments, and then any future assessments will be added as well. Lastly is uncategorized, and these are just a few resources that don't quite fit into one unit. So they're in here. There are just a couple speed drills, basic skills, one-step equations, fractions. There are financial literacy stations. So I knew financial literacy is really big in Texas. So you have these stations. There is a math mistakes in the real world resource that also comes with the PowerPoint. And then this activity, Balance It Out, this is the real world checkbook activity. And this has been around since 2010 with a revision in 2016. And teachers really enjoy this because This shows your students how to write checks, how to pay bills, how to keep a transaction register while practicing decimal skills. And then it also includes the coffee shop, which is a really fun activity that students and teachers enjoy. So those are your current assessments, escapes, and uncategorized resources. And again, more will be added as I get things done. They'll just go in there. So once you're a member, you get access to all future materials with no exceptions. There's also seasonal resources. So 6th grade, we have beginning of the year activities. The first is going to be a beginning of the year prep packet. This could also be used at the end of 5th grade. Just different practice skills. It could be used as a summer packet. And I'm not going to go through every single activity because it's going to take a really long time. But there's back to school puzzle stations. These are editable. There's back to school foldables. And you saw the back to school escape already. There are teacher organization pages, assignment tracking, phone call worksheets, communication, just a ton of stuff in here. Okay, and then there are end of the year resources. You have end of the year choice board. There are end of the year task cards. There are end of the year fold and flip notes or fold and flip activities. There's a couple different versions. And then I just included my end of the year middle school math activities resource. This is also included in grades 7 and 8 as well. And this memories and review booklet, which is customizable. And so integers would be for 7th grade, but you can still use this for 6th grade. Just pull out the pages you don't need. And then there are also a ton of holiday specific resources. So you have my full Thanksgiving packet. You have a ton of different coloring pages and activities based on the seasons. There are also Christmas holiday resources, which include the cookie shop project, which is a lot of fun. Coloring pages with Christmas themes. Just more holiday themed activities. The spooky cookies should be in the Thanksgiving section, and then there's also the New Year's coloring page, which is editable. It includes a couple different skills and then coloring pages for 2019, 2020, and I believe I went through 2023. And then there's a couple of Valentine's Day activities as well. And also included that's not printed is an editable Valentine's Day stations template. So you have a full binder of just holiday specific resources in the membership. Next is intervention, and this is a huge piece. The intervention in 6th grade does include small group planning sheets, which are editable. And then before I developed my grade level intervention binders, I had a couple individual units. So the fraction operations one is included in the 6th grade membership. It's a pretty big, pretty good size unit. And then this is printed and bound because I had used it for a conference, but this is the 6th grade intervention program that you get. It is completely editable too. So every skill comes with a tracking sheet, a review sheet, extra practice, and error analysis. There's also your planning sheet is in here as well. And again, this will be at a PDF format. I just have it printed. So there are a ton of 6th grade skills here. And this is how each one is set up. So each skill cluster includes a pre-assessment, and then you jump into the individual skills. So in this case, grade is common factor. You have your progress tracking, your skill review sheet that has key concepts and a way for students to check in about how they're feeling about it or questions for you. There's also extra practice and error analysis. And there are so many skills in here. This is such a really valuable resource for you for intervention or just for extra practice, or even 5th grade teachers I know use this for extension activities. So it might be intervention for 6th grade, but 5th grade teachers have used it as enrichment. So that's the intervention piece. And the intervention piece will be built out to include some videos as well, but that's going to take a little bit of time. Okay. You also get access to my full 6th grade curriculum. The last couple units are being revised right now to include more content and become editable, but the first few are done. So each revised unit includes curriculum pacing, a calendar that gives you ideas of what you could use each day. Also talking points, key things to make sure you talk about, as well as common mistakes and misconceptions. You have student tracking pages for every single lesson. And then another broken unit plan that's not as stepped out as the calendar. And it does include Common Core Antique standards on here as well. This is the review unit, which is why it's 5th grade standards. You have a weekly warm-up sheet. This is with every single unit, exit ticket printables, a printable lesson plan, and then vocabulary. Every unit also has a pre-assessment and a post-assessment. And then the individual lessons, you have warm-ups, you have notes, you have graphic organizers, a couple of activities, practice pages. This is just a total complete curriculum, just anything you would find with a textbook, but better. So this next one, fraction operations and integer concepts, this is a longer unit. So there's more pacing here, there's more resources included. There's your warm-ups, there's a pairs check in this, practice, there are exit tickets. There's 2 per page, so if there's an odd number, then they just go doubled up. That way you can say it on some paper. So yeah, so there's a ton in this curriculum. And again, the last couple units are not revised. So when they are, there'll be even more here. And lastly, and this is the biggest part of the membership, are these activities. This is a 4-inch binder and it is full. Everything is printed front to back, and there is stuff that is not in here because I couldn't print PowerPoints and stuff. So just a quick look inside. You have full year resources, and these are resources such as the statement punch cards. They come in Common Core Antiques, and they also come blank. So you have ICANN statements, but you don't have a label on them, and you can edit these. Also includes the vocabulary cards. Some teachers use these as on their walls, some use them as matching activities, but you have all the vocabulary cards. You have standards checklists for both students and teachers. And then you have all of my logic puzzles. There's tons of these. There's holiday themed, there's summer themed, there's just a bunch. So you have all the logic puzzles as well in the full year resources. And then the last one in there are the quick reference sheets. These are basically just per unit or per skill sheets, just reminders of notes. Some teachers like to send these home with parents because 6th grade math is a little bit difficult for a lot of people these days. So this helps out with parents as well. And then you have broken down supplemental resources by unit. And I want you to understand that some of these are a little bit dated just in their appearance, and so they will be updated over time. Everything will also have Common Core Antiques alignment over the next couple of months. So supplemental resources include things like error analysis task cards, practice booklets, and these have been out for quite some time. They from 2013, but they were revised in 2018. So I do go through and revise my resources quite often. This is a board game that's going to be revised soon. You have coloring pages, there are stations, there are just so many resources here. A lot of my newer resources have a teacher's notes page. This will be included with all of my resources once they get revised. So you can kind of tell what's been revised if it has this teacher notes page. So you have a couple more fold and flips. Here are some stations. So seriously, when I say you have a full year of material with this membership for one low fee, that's exactly what you have. You have a full year. There is so much here for you to choose from. One teacher asked about printing it all out. I would not recommend doing that just because you can see the amount of paper and toner, and it's just a lot. And plus, I will be updating some things. So I hate for you to print things out and then we update it before you get to print it, or before you get to use it, and then you have to print it again. So the good thing with the membership is everything is right there. You can print directly from the website. You don't have to download anything. There are a couple of skills, like I just want to show you this, that are substitute plans. They're emergency sub plans. You can just print them off, leave them in the office if that's what you need to do. But there's just so much here. So I hope this helps answer some questions that you all have about what's exactly included. I hope that you will consider joining us. The Facebook group already has some discussion going on, and I'm just really excited to see that community grow and become a place where you come to ask questions, look for ideas, share amazing lessons, and so on. So thank you so much for taking this look inside, and I hope to see you soon in the membership.